What life pro tip have you learned from Reddit that you still use every time the situation presents itself? If you get a prepaid Visa gift card, save it with like a $1 or $2 and use it to sign up for free trials without having to worry about using your actual credit card. A long time ago I remember reading a thread about signs that someone is interested in you. The one I remember the most clearly is that they'll look at you if they see or hear something funny. It helped me resolve exactly one potentially uncomfortable situation in my life, making it by far the most useful advice I have ever gotten from Reddit. I never put my card into a gas pump without furiously wiggling the reader first. If someone won't shut up, drop something, they'll pause when you go to pick it up. Use that opportunity to speak as you pick up whatever you dropped. Instead of saying I assumed, say I was under the impression. It legitimately works wonders. X% of Y is equal to Y% of X. It's made my mental math so much easier. Obligatory edit. Ahem. Ahem. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. There. When I'm walking on a sidewalk approaching a group of people heading towards me, I slow down to a pace slower than theirs so they make room for me to pass. Someone on Reddit described how people subconsciously yield to whoever is going more slowly. Generally works. I'm pretty sure it was a LPT. Might have been an AskReddit response. But it was in relation to a 6-second rule. Have to get something done and don't want to start it? Count down from 6 and force yourself to do it. I have no idea why it works or why the number 6 was chosen, but I applied it to the menial tasks in my life I don't want to do, and it's worked extremely well. Not filing in the to field in an email until I'm completely done with the email saved me a lot of badly written emails, half-finished emails, and emails I never sent because I had time to think better of it. Saran wrap/cling wrap goes in your freezer. That makes the product actually work. If your printer is out of black ink and you need urgent printout, please change the color of the font number 010101, which is 99% gray. It will help. If you accidentally offend and/or anger someone, when apologizing, follow this formula. State what you did, why it was wrong, and how you'll prevent it from happening in the future. When you are trying to resolve an issue where someone else made an error, put the focus on the error and not the person. Example of this that I use almost every day at work: someone sends me an email without the attachment. Instead of saying, "You didn't send the attachment," I say, "The attachment didn't come through. Please try sending it again." It doesn't seem like a huge deal, but people are more likely to become defensive or hostile when you blame them, even if it was their fault. It has saved me a lot of headaches at work. Edit. Thank you, kind stranger. Can't believe I went 28 years of my life before finally learning this on Reddit. If you spread your cheeks as you sit down, you have a lot less wiping to do. It's only been used once, but when you're caught in a riptide, swim parallel to shore, not directly forwards in order to escape. About a week ago my brother and I were out in the ocean, and a wave crashed over us. My hair was plastered to my face and I couldn't see. In the time that I took to get the hair out of my eyes, we realized we had been pushed out and couldn't touch the ground at all. We were getting further and further from shore. We were struggling for about 20 minutes against the current until he remembered that LPT, and we both swam sideways like crazy. My cousin had luckily alerted our uncle, and he was able to get us back in once we could touch the ground again. Thanks, Reddit. Instead of saying "I know," say "you're right." People pay a lot of money for individually wrapped, home-cooked brownies at music festivals. When giving advice, use the phrase "perhaps" in replacement of "I think," so it comes off more as a suggestion and not an opinion. It will be more likely to be heard and taken into consideration. Check the pressure in your spare tire and know how to use the jack before going on a trip. Putting Reddit instead of Reddit in the URL makes the subreddit of your choosing a slideshow. Edit. Oh no, I'm the reason a ton of people wonked in the past 20 hours. I don't like this power. Blink eyes rapidly for a minute before bed to tire yourself out. It's fine to add an explanation after an apology. However, do not preface it with "but," because then it just sounds like you are trying to make excuses. Taking something with me that belongs on the other floor every time I go upstairs or downstairs makes tidying up more efficient. When the power goes out, search for Wi-Fi networks on your phone to see if everyone's power is out. Edit. I love Reddit. Get a dashcam. Fortunately, I haven't had to use it to defend myself, but the thought of not having it when I need it brings me absolute anxiety now. There have been a few instances where I've almost hit idiot/wasted pedestrians, and if I didn't have that dashcam running, I would have been very screwed if I did hit them and they lawyered up. Knowing that I have a dashcam running also improves my motorist habits significantly. Keep the music down. Obey the speed laws. Don't use the phone. No evasive lane changes. And no speeding up to try and beat a yellow light where I obviously won't. With the dashcam, I drive like there's an insurance broker riding shotgun and a jury in the backseat. Using pistachio shells to open the really hard to open pistachios. The advice I read one time: don't put it down. Put it away. It has reduced the clutter in my home dramatically. Apologize less. Say thank you more. For instance, instead of "I'm sorry I'm talking so much," say "thank you for listening." Instead of "sorry for a scheduling," say "thanks for being so flexible." Wiping the water off of my body with my hands in the shower before getting out and towel drying. Can't remember when I saw it, but using chopsticks to eat Cheetos, popcorn, Doritos, etc. while using the computer keeps your keyboard from getting quite as disgusting. Pre-tangling your headphones. Grab both ends with one hand, your finger in the middle, pull tight and twist approximate 9 times. Then let them naturally curl up and make sure you don't run anything through the loop when you slide them in your pocket. When you take them out, they may look tangled, but will unravel perfectly. When you have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, close one eye until after you finish peeing and turn off the bathroom light. The eye that was closed will be able to see in the darkness, and you will be able to get back to your room without stubbing your toe or tripping. My favorite has been, if I'm planning on buying something, but last minute decide against it, still take the money and put it in savings. Even if it's $5, $10. I was ready to spend the money anyway, so why not save it? This has really helped me build up a small savings in the last year. Edit. Thank you so much for my first gold. Carrot so happy. Also love being a part of the supportive portion of the Reddit community. Thank you kind people. I had writer's block for the longest time. What got me out of it was one piece of advice that can work for nearly anything. Write one sentence and see where it goes. Don't overthink it or criticize the ideas. Just jump in and do it. It really works, and some of my best writing came from using that technique. Letting the plot write itself and break away from my initial ideas of how I thought it was supposed to go. It can apply to anything. Just one step, one phone call, one new accomplishment outside of your comfort zone. Jump in and get going. Edit. What is this gold you speak of? Have I gotten all of you out of writer's block? If you are nervous about any kind of public speaking, volunteer to go first. You get it done and over with quickly. You are able to relax for the rest of the class, conference or what have you, and most importantly your audience, depending on the setting, is too worried about their own presentation/speech to care about yours. I also paired this with advice to bring visual aids. Example being, I needed to explain why my state is unique. So I brought photos for each table to pass and shots of maple syrup. Pretty sure only the facilitator was looking at me the entire time. Everyone else was busy looking at photos and taking shots of maple syrup. Being secretive about winning the lottery can save your life and potentially others. Edit. To the stranger who gave me gold, thank you very much. Lending something to someone. Take their picture with the item you lent them. I avoid awkward hallway scuffles by looking at the direction I want to go. It works every single time. Not making fun of people's laugh. I've literally seen the joy leave a person's face after making a joke about someone's laugh. Makes me sad thinking about it. Open a bag of chips and roll the bottom in so it creates its own self-standing bowl. People are always impressed. The comma and period keys move you out of videos one frame backward and forward. respectively. Setting a timer for 10 minutes every time I walk through the front door to clean/tidy stops it building up and goes really quick so doesn't feel like a chore. Floss before brushing. That way, you end with the fresh toothpaste taste and not the rotten meat taste, and the toothpaste gets in where trapped food particles were, which would have been blocked by said particles. It's nothing major, but once a Redditor posted about grouping utensils in the dishwasher, all forks in one section, all spoons in one, etc., so that when they are dry, you can just reach in and put them away without having to sort through them. Very minimal tip, but something I hadn't thought of. On the topic of big goals, someone on r/AskReddit said to focus on the path in front of you, rather than the top of the mountain. This has helped me complete small but necessary daily tasks like homework and whatnot. Edit. Wow. This is by far my most popular comment. Thanks everyone. I actually wrote an expansion on this piece of advice, and if anyone would like to read my take on it, feel free to PM me. If something takes less than 15 minutes, just do it right now instead of putting it off. I'm lazy as frick if left to my own devices, and this has helped me become a better housekeeper and be much more productive. If you're at a large park or event with your kids, take a picture of them just as you walk in the door. If by some chance they get lost, you have a picture that shows exactly what they look like and what they were wearing. If you are job hunting, copy and paste the job description from the ad or the website you're applying to and make the font white so it is not seen by human eyes. The computer will pick up the keywords and phrases and move your resume to the list of people they will call for interviews. At the time that I saw this tip, I was job hunting and having problems getting anyone to call me for an interview. I started adding the job description to the bottom of the resume, tiny font and wide color, so it was blind. Every company I submitted my resume to, that I did that to, I got an interview with. I ended up getting a job for a company that is very picky about who they hire, and only interview 1 out of every 100 applications. I love my new job, and going forward, if I ever have to apply anywhere again, I will be doing the same trick. Edit. I don't know if this trick works everywhere. I was skeptical too when I read it on here, but figured I had nothing to lose. I was applying to major national companies who use computer software to sort the applications. Except for one job, I applied for jobs where I met all the requirements of skill, education, experience, etc. Even the job I wasn't qualified for called me. It fell apart at the interview. Lesson learned. So for me this trick worked. Don't dwell on past you not starting something sooner. Start now and think about how future you will appreciate how much you've done. If you want to cool a drink or any other beverage in a bottle/can quickly that is warm, wrap in wet paper towels and put them in the freezer. Give it 5-10 minutes and you'll have it ice cold. Invest in the things that separate you from the ground. Good shoes, tires and mattress. Don't make the mistake of thinking that, for better or worse, things are always going to be they are right now. Only apologize for something once. Any more than that, and you are just trying to make yourself feel better. Check the comments for the real LPT. Wet your nail clippers before using them. If you're afraid to check your bank account, check your bank account. If you keep a baseball bat in your car for protection, put a sock over it. If they grab the bat, they will only get the sock, and you will get another swing. Use cold water to wash cum off your hands. When I buy ice cream, I enclose it in an airtight plastic bag after I open it. This keeps the ice cream soft. If you don't know whether you should use the word effect or effect, simply use impact. Cover up the sensor with TP so toilet doesn't go off mid-wipe. If you put toilet paper on top of the water before you poop, it stops the poop water from splashing your ass as you drop your turd. A Redditor once remarked on how he realized how much he didn't know about a topic he was really passionate about. He then said something along the lines of reserving our judgment for things we know very little about, like stuff that's covered in the news, etc. I've taken that advice to heart and become less judgmental about things I don't know very much about. It's made me less angry, less depressed, and less skeptical about the world in general. If you are ever talking crap about someone, and they walk up and catch you. Include them in the conversation like you fully intended to call them out on it. Might as well really give it to them at this point as well. They're already off balance because they fully expected you to backpedal, become defensive. This approach prevents them from saying that you were talking behind their back and lets them know you have a problem with them. When microwaving food, casserole, pasta, etc., make it in the shape of a ring or a donut. Basically have it hollowed out in the middle. It heats up significantly quicker and more evenly. Edit, spelling. I know it was on Reddit and I'm not sure if it was a LPT, but you judge others by their actions and yourself by your intentions. Really put things into perspective when I thought of why people do the things they do and how they perceive what I do. Wiggle the credit card slot at gas pumps. Baby wipes by the bed for activities. I drive a lot and I'm always at the gas station. Those constant ads that they play from the screen can be muted, usually by hitting the unlabeled button on the right side of the screen, second one down from the top. If not, just push the others until it mutes. I generally chuckle that the 5 hours a day on Reddit is now totally worth it due to a couple minutes of quiet. I don't boil eggs anymore. I steam them. 15 minutes is absolutely perfect. And they peel so easy. I'll never look back. Except that now I'm kinda tired of hard-boiled eggs. Set up undo on mail. So you have 30 seconds to unsend an email after hitting sending. It's dumb that hitting send is the thing needed for me to realize what I forgot, or that I didn't want to send it. But I use it all the time. If your dog is running away and you can't catch up, pretend to fall. They'll run back to check up on you. Bonus if you yell out, "I've fallen and I can't get up." Using an old point reddit.com. If you accidentally type something in all caps, highlight it and push Shift F3 to undo the caps. When putting stuff into a plastic Ziploc style bag, you roll the top of the bag outward so that you're placing things directly into the bag without contaminating the edge where you seal it. I thought it was a stupid insurance scam, but for $50, figured it would be worth a try. Few months later, when I was the last one at work and my car battery was dead, it was a godsend. Edit, lot of comments about AAA horror stories here. Maybe it's a location thing. In the last 2 years I've had my battery jump twice. Towed once when my starter went out, and a flat tire patched. Also called once for a friend with a dead battery. My car is crappy. AAA makes it possible to keep rolling until I can afford something more reliable. Don't overthink before making decisions. Make the one your gut tells you to, and see it through to the end. Of course that doesn't apply to big life decisions, but for everyday work and personal decisions, it's been helping me a lot, saving me lots of unnecessary stress. If you get lightheaded a lot when standing up, make it a habit to clench your abs every time you stand up. It sounds weird but it works. I subconsciously do it all the time now. Never being the first one to break a hug with someone you're interested in. I look at my gas gag to see on which side the tank lid is. Every time. I've had this car for quite some time. Thanks, Reddit. Always go see a movie and then get dinner so you can talk about the movie afterwards. I love it. It makes me way more comfortable on dates. Edit, I don't necessarily mean this for a first date like a lot of people seem to think. Edit 2, spelling. If you can't get all of your poop out, insert a finger into your vag and feel around the back of your vagal wall and guide it out. Life changing. Just today a friend was soliciting advice on assisted living / nursing home for her grandmother. I chimed in that she should check with paramedics in the area. I had read on Reddit that they were intimately familiar with the level of care in facilities in their area. Peanut butter on the side of the tub to give the dog a bath. She sits still for the whole time and gets a much more thorough cleaning. Whenever you're stressed out, just blow on your thumb. Don't really know the science behind it, but it lowers your heart rate. At least for me. Edit, wow, I didn't expect this to have such a big impact on some of you. Glad I could help. I really like the one where you dampen a napkin and put it in with your pizza when you microwave it. The first time I tried, I was amazed that it actually worked. Eating oranges in the shower. That crap still hits 2 years later. Putting duct tape on the back of sandpaper, OMG, increases its life by a crap ton. No is a complete sentence. This has been such a life-changing phrase. I saw a thread that involved building confidence, and someone had said something that helped me so much in high school. They said if you're in a situation and you're uncomfortable, just imagine someone you look up to and do and say what you'd expect them to say. I had a guy on my swim team who ended up being a really good friend. He was muscular to the nth degree and was just so calm and cool all the time. Everyone loved the guy, and for good reason. So when I was uncomfortable or didn't know what to do, I just channeled him and tried to emulate what he would say and do. It really helped me out, and I'm glad we ended up such good friends. Treat others the way you would want them to treat your grandma. Makes waiting tables easier. If your milk is expired or past the sell-by date, then pour some in a cup and smell it before using it. The cap traps dried milk and always smells spoiled, so it won't tell you that it's all bad, just that the cap stinks. I used this today because my milk was dated for yesterday and the kids wouldn't believe me that we didn't need to throw it out. Pooping with my feet up on a stool. It has made my pooping experience much better, and I feel much more empty after. If you ever forget someone's name, just use this formula. Sorry, what's your name? Person whose name you should know gets angry. It's Jessica. No, your family name. Oh, it's Smith. You get them to tell you their name and you save face for being a terrible person. When I was learning to drive, my brother taught me how to make sure I wasn't too close behind the car in front. Notice when it passes a lamppost, and say only a full breaks the 2-second rule slowly to yourself. If you pass the same lamppost before you finish, you're too close. Learn to drive way before helpful sensors etc were invented. I've picked it up from The Office. Really? But seen it repeated here many times. So it counts. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I would not do that thing. Using like 85% gray instead of black for text when printing black and white to save ink. Don't argue with people on the internet. Almost all of them are incapable of accepting they're wrong even with insurmountable proof, so there's no point. Whenever using a public toilet, take a piece of toilet paper, wipe the seat, and flush it. Now you know there's toilet paper, the seat is dry, and how well it flushes. I developed this into a habit, so I'm never trapped without toilet paper, getting wet from the seat, or overestimating the power of the flush. It avoids a lot of embarrassing situations. Edit. Really, I do this with every bathroom that isn't my own. It's saved me from numerous embarrassing situations at my in-laws' house as well as friends' houses. The tag of your bed's fitted sheet goes at the bottom right corner. Turning the sound off on the microwave. When the power goes out, the damn thing resets itself, so I have to turn the sound off each time. But still glad I happened across the tip of how to do so. Until then I didn't realize it was possible to silence a microwave. Put on turn signal before breaking. If you are making eggs and a piece of an eggshell falls in, use an eggshell to get it out. Honestly, out of all the life hacks I've learned, that one is perfect. That if something doesn't impact you 5 years from now, it's not worth being mad about. Getting a friend to call references I put on my resume pretending to be a potential employer to see what they say about me. I open bananas from the non-stem end. It works real well. Forget if you took your prescription. Next time just flip it over after you've taken it, so you know it's all good. Get yourself another debit card on a separate account. Use that card for internet purchases. Only transfer over what you need. Hackers/scammers can't empty an empty account. As contrived as this may sound, my advice is don't pine. Breakups happen. Accidents happen. Life happens. There's a time to be sad. But don't dwell on it, that's pining. Be sad. Learn from it. Why are you sad? And get on with your life. Any time spent pining can be spent moving forward. Job interview didn't go over well. Guzzle a glass of wine and trudge on. Don't spend a week crying over what could have been. Squeegeeing water off yourself after your shower, but before you towel dry. Honestly, it makes a huge difference in how quickly you can dry off, and it makes you a bit less cold when you first get out. A door of a building can always be opened from the inside by pushing it. So in case of an emergency, everyone can leave. If you want a perfect high five, look at the other person's elbow. Ripping the bottom of a cupcake off and putting it on top to turn it into a hoopie pie keeps the icing from getting all over your face. If there's a task that can be done in less than 2 minutes, do it right away. This avoids build-up of multiple things and procrastinating, leaving oneself also feeling accomplished. Another editor once commented on a thread like this a while back saying that they learned to make sure the bottom of dishes are as clean as the top, since they stack. As a man, for a happy marriage, sit down to pee. Give a little push in that region below your balls to squeeze out the last few drops of pee. I usually sleep in dry underwear now. To clean a blender, immediately after you use it, rinse it out, then put warm water and soap in it, then blend it. Tardier. Line a bowl with tin foil, pour bacon grease, throw away tin foil when bacon grease has cooled. Cologne should be discovered and not announced. Also, cut your goddamn nails. The beauty of the shower drink. There was one today about using questions rather than just stating your opinions to appear more rational and sensitive and open. For example, instead of saying you broke the TV, you can ask, what happened to the TV? Simple enough, but a game changer I plan on using. Let Chipotle compromise their chicken portion before requesting double chicken. Spare key in wallet has helped me numerous times. I keep my man meat out of coconuts.